Is there a disconnect in the junior market? I am with Mickey Fulp, Mercenary Geologist, here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference. Mickey, we're off to one of the best starts, or the best RICs, I think, probably in a very long time, with the multi-year high in gold prices, yet it just doesn't seem that is coming through to the junior space.
Hasn't yet. It's kind of curious, isn't it? Makes you wonder. Sometimes gold stocks, not only miners, but the explorers, front run the gold price. At other times we've seen just the opposite. And this time it's just the opposite. Gold price has been on quite a roll here for, I don't know, 6 months maybe, 5-6 months. And for the most part, the junior stocks have, which is the bailiwick here and my bailiwick and what happens at the Cambridge House Vancouver Conference, is it's about the juniors. And not only that, but even the gold miners, the majors and the mid-tiers, we haven't really seen, it's been kind of up and down, sawtooth sort of patterns, so we haven't seen that response even trickle down to the gold miners the way that normally you would expect it to. And in my opinion, it has to be led by the major gold miners, and then it'll get to the mid-tiers and the small-tier miners, and finally come down to the good companies, and I want to emphasize the good companies on the Toronto Venture Exchange.
Talk about the good companies on the Toronto Venture Exchange when they do trickle it down.
Yeah, I think they're in the minority for the most part. And they always really have been. You know, we've always had, in my opinion, too many companies on the exchange for the number of good projects in the world. And that really hasn't changed. But what we've seen, I think, is a bit of a bifurcation between the haves and the have-nots. And I do not really see that changing. There's some really good companies out there, and you probably think there's maybe 200 or 300 really good projects in the world that should be flagships, but what do we got? Maybe 1,200 juniors. So there are a lot of companies with projects that just really aren't ever going to make it. And I think the markets recognize this through this long bear turn that we've had. And so we need, as analysts, pundits, newsletter writers, whatever our expertise is, we need to make sure that the retail lay investor understands what constitutes a good project and who those people are.
What would be the argument you would make to the retail investor? So gold has gone up, so there's got to be some value somewhere. There's going to be the seniors, there's going to be the mids. You can actually get in an ETF, you can actually get in the precious metal itself. What is the argument for on the junior side and then actually investing in these good companies? Why is the leverage there?
Well, arguably it is the world's most entrepreneurial venture capital market that exists in the public venue. Therefore, the risk is very high, but so is the potential reward. And it always depends on risk reward. And for people that like to take risk with their discretionary income, the potential for profit here is like no other place in the world. But realize that you're operating in an extreme risk reward environment. So highest risk in the world, highest reward in the world if you pick the right stocks at the right time.
What is the story looking forward for commodities? Would you stay focused on gold, or would you look at your silvers, or would you even look at base metals right now, or do you see that this is really a gold train right now? Well,
gold's what drives this business. Gold drives the Toronto Venture Exchange. Price of copper could go to $4.40, which it's been at before, and it's really not going to move the market because there are not that many copper companies, and it has always been driven by gold. So from that point of view, you need to look at gold as the catalyst that will carry the market along. That doesn't mean that there's not good copper companies out there, there's good uranium companies, but we need higher prices for all those metals Gold's kind of led the way, and then you got this bizarre thing happening. You know what I'm going to say with palladium right now, which has gone exponential. It has not gone parabolic, folks. Exponential curve goes like this. A parabolic curve is the other side. And until it goes the other side, which it will, we don't know when, it has not gone parabolic. So I would argue that we will be led by gold. Platinum is looking better. Silver is still mucking about, who knows. But the base metal complex is the next thing to go. And it is tied up in geopolitics right now with the Chinese-U.S. trade tariff war, snafu, talks, whatever you want to call it. I think until that is resolved, more than it was resolved on Wednesday, January 15th, when they signed the phase one, as soon as that becomes more concrete and progress is made, I think the base metal complex is ready to go, and it will be led by copper. Supply-demand fundamentals of copper are just compelling.
What would you look at with happening with the U.S. elections coming up, and either which ways it goes, what would be the effect on gold prices?
Well, that's a really good question, and I'm going to presume...
I ask you because you weigh on these things on your Twitter feed. I followed you.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if anybody can beat Donald Trump. I really will be surprised. If Trump is defeated, I think that is going to be negative for base metals, because a president that will come in on the Democratic side is not going to lean on China the way that many Americans think they should be leaned on in terms of trade. You know, it's been an unlevel playing field for a long time. I don't know if Trump was defeated, if that would continue, and that, so negative for base metals. Who knows about gold? Gold depends on so many things. It depends on interest rates. It depends on physical demand. It depends on the value of the U.S. dollar, the health of the world's economy, probably more importantly, the health of the U.S. economy, which is doing quite well right now.
Thank you very much, Mickey. I've been speaking with Mickey Fulp, Mercenary Geologist, where Kitco is here at the Vancouver Resource Investment Conference here in Vancouver. Thank you very much.
Thank you.